My name is Lena Brooks. I'm 33. And 6 months ago, my family sat me down at a dinner table and reminded me, in front of everyone, that I was the least successful child. Yeah, they didn't say it like that. But trust me, you don't need exact words when you've been hearing the same message your whole life. You just feel it. Let me take you back to the night everything flipped. It was a Sunday. My stepmom had gone all out. Candles, roast chicken, fancy plates that only come out when someone needs to prove something. And that someone was my brother, Caleb. Golden child, MBA, corporate job, big salary. The kind of guy who says quarterly growth at dinner like it's normal. My dad was already halfway through his second drink when I walked in. He looked at me, paused, and said, "Lena, you're late." No hi, no hug, nothing. Just like always. Dinner started normal enough. Caleb talked about his promotion. My younger sister Emma talked about her engagement. Everyone clapped, smiled, nodded. Then my dad leaned back in his chair, tapped his glass, and said, "All right, let's go around the table. Everyone share what they've achieved this year." My stomach dropped because I knew exactly what this was. Not a conversation, a comparison. See, when you grow up like I did, you learn something early. There's always a scoreboard, and no matter what you do, you're already losing. Caleb went first, obviously. "Senior manager now," he said, smiling. "Leading a team of 25. Salary bumped, too." My dad lit up like Christmas morning. "That's my son," he said. Of course it was. Emma went next. Wedding plans, new apartment, starting a life. More smiles, more approval. Then my dad turned to me and gave me that look. That polite, tight smile people use when they already know the answer. "So, Lena, what about you?" Now, here's the thing. I could have lied. I could have said something safe, something small. But after years of being the punchline, something in me just snapped. I leaned back, crossed my arms, and said, "I run my own business." Caleb smirked. "Oh yeah? Still doing that little online thing?" Little. That word again. I hate that word. "Yeah," I said calmly, "that little thing." My dad chuckled like it was cute. "Lena, we're being serious here." That hit, because I was being serious. But to them, I never was. Let me explain something real quick. 3 years ago, I was broke. Like checking my bank account before buying groceries broke. I had a laptop, a borrowed desk, and Wi-Fi that barely worked. I started freelancing online, designing, marketing, whatever people would pay for. At first, it was $50 jobs, then $100. Then clients started coming back, then referrals, then bigger contracts. No degree, no connections, no safety net. Just me figuring it out. But my family? They never saw that. To them, if it didn't come with a title or an office, it didn't count. Back at the table, Caleb leaned forward. "So what do you actually make, Lena?" There it was, the question. Not curiosity, a test. I could feel everyone watching, waiting, judging. Same old story. I took a sip of water, set the glass down, and said one sentence. Just one. "I made $480,000 last year." Silence. Dead silence. Like someone hit pause on the whole room. Emma blinked. My stepmom froze mid-bite. My dad just stared at me like I'd spoken another language. Caleb laughed, but it wasn't real. It was that nervous laugh people do when they're trying to stay on top. "Okay, sure," he said, "and I'm a billionaire." I didn't react, didn't smile, didn't flinch, just looked at him and said, "I have the bank statements." That's when everything changed, because suddenly it wasn't funny anymore. My dad cleared his throat. "Lena, you don't need to exaggerate." Exaggerate. That word again. And I felt it. That old feeling. That tightness in your chest when you realize no matter what you achieve, some people will never believe in you. But this time, I didn't shrink. I didn't laugh it off. I didn't play small to make them comfortable. I leaned forward, looked my dad straight in the eyes, and said, "You asked what I've achieved. I answered." Caleb pushed his chair back. "This is ridiculous," he said. "There's no way you're making that kind of money doing whatever it is you do." I tilted my head. "You mean working for myself?" He scoffed. "You don't even have a degree." And there it was, the same line, the same script, the same tired argument they'd been using for years. But this time, I was ready. I said, "You're right. I don't." Then I added, "But I also don't have debt." That one hit harder, way harder, because suddenly the room wasn't looking at me anymore. They were looking at him. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't the one being questioned. My dad rubbed his face. "This isn't about money," he said. "But the thing is, it always was. Not the money itself, but what it represented. Worth, value, respect. And for years, I had none of it. At least, not in their eyes." I stood up. Not angry, not loud, just done. "I didn't come here to prove anything," I said. "But I'm not going to sit here and be treated like I've done nothing with my life." No one spoke. No one stopped me. And as I grabbed my keys, I heard Caleb mutter under his breath, "Must be nice making up numbers." I stopped, just for a second, didn't turn around, didn't argue. I just said one thing, calm, quiet, final. "Yeah, it is nice." And I walked out. That should have been the end of it. It wasn't, because 6 months later, everything they believed about success, about me, about themselves, came crashing down, and all it took was one photo. 6 months passed, no calls, no messages, just silence. Honestly, it didn't even hurt anymore. I was busy, growing. One morning, I closed my biggest deal yet. A client wired me more money in one day than I used to make in a year. I sat there staring at my screen, and instead of celebrating, I did something else. I took a screenshot. My business dashboard, my earnings, my company name at the top. No filters, no captions. Just truth. Then I opened the family group chat, the one where I hadn't said a word in months, and I sent it. Just that one photo, nothing else. At first, nothing. Then my phone started buzzing. "Emma, wait, is this real? Stepmom, Lena, call me." My dad, typing, stopping, typing again. "Caleb?" He didn't say a word. 5 minutes later, my dad finally replied, "Proud of you." 2 words. After 20 years. I stared at the message for a long time, not smiling, not crying, just feeling it. Then I locked my phone, put it face down, and went back to work. Because the truth is, I didn't need their approval anymore. I had already built something they couldn't ignore. And that photo, it didn't just prove them wrong, it proved to me I was never the least successful one. I was just the one who didn't quit.